Good afternoon. We're back with another episode of the Lord of the Rings LCG Progression Series. Playing solo as always, and today's quest is Voyage Across Belegaer. Belegaer? Belegaer. So this is the first quest of the Grey Havens expansion, and it introduces ship combat as well as sailing, both concepts which I really like. We're now getting increasingly more complex quests in the game, and increasingly complex strategies available to the player, which I'm a huge fan of. The higher the skill ceiling, the better, especially for a very difficult game like this one. So I'm playing an Outland Swarm deck. I've swapped in Círdan the Shipwright, and I think he is an improvement for the setup. We have a Corsairs deck. We have prepare our fleet. So you choose, each player would choose a ship. One of them has to be the Dream Chaser. However, in solo play, you get to start with 2 ships instead of just 1 per player. So each ship offers a different benefit. One of them has to be Dream Chaser, and the others you can choose whichever one you like best. And I like Narya, which reduces the cost of the first ally you play each round by 1. So your ships can't be destroyed. Then I also have this card, which is just a reminder of which, well, it's a compass heading. So when you have the star or the sun on top, that means you're on course. And if it flips, and when it might flip to one of the other bearings, I'll go over a little later. But if it does, then you get a variety of detrimental effects. Generally, you want to stay on course as much as possible. And you have to be on course to put progress on the final stage at all if you're going the questing route instead of the combat route. To complete the setup, we've got 1 copy of Rolling Seas and 1 copy of Scouting Ship in the staging area. Ship enemies can only be defended by ship allies or objectives, but ship enemies can be attacked by anyone. So, if I should engage a ship, it has to be defended by a ship, and if it makes an undefended attack, that damage will go on a ship. They also have the boarding trait. Even when it says boarding, that means when it engages me, I have to deal, for boarding 1, I have to deal 1 card off the Corsairs deck. And they are all pretty horrifying cards, so that's generally undesirable in solo. We'll take a look at them and then I'll shuffle them. If everything goes well, I'm not going to be seeing too many of these, so I'll show the viewers what that looks like if you're not familiar with this quest. We've got like a 4-5-3 here. That's pretty terrible. We've got a pirate which gets +1/+1 for each resource on it. And it can have resources added to it by ally ships or enemy ships. It also makes me discard an attachment I control when it engages and place resources on it equal to the attachment's printed cost. That's horrifying. Very undesirable. And while that guy is engaged with these ships, contribute their threat to the staging area even though they're engaged. I don't consider it super viable as a strategy. Well, certainly less efficient as a strategy to try to go the route where you clear everything out of the staging. It's better to, I think, in solo to just try and quest by everything. Now, if somebody's got a deck or a link to a video where somebody went the combat route in true solo, I'd be very interested to see it. But that seems very difficult to me when you're playing true solo. It seems better to stay under the engagement threshold and stay on course and try not to enter into combat. That completes setup. So this has the trait Sailing, which I'll go over in just a moment. While you are on course, each ship objective gets +2 willpower. So let's get a hand. Dual Will of the West in the opening hand is not good, and Steward of Gondor with no way to play it is not good. I'm going to mulligan that. Okay, so 1 resource per hero. Draw 1 normally, then 3 for Erestor, then 1 for Círdan the Shipwright, and then I must choose and discard one of the cards that I drew. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one of these 5 I have to just discard. And I think that'll be Men of the West, I guess, since I can't play it. Or it's useless. Now, I can play... This is kind of a complicated deck to play. A lot of decisions every round, which is something I really like about it. Do I want to get out Narya? Or would I rather wait for another copy of that and play like Anfalas, Herdsman, Ethir, Swordsman? I think that's pretty good. I think I want to do that. I'll wait on Narya. Narya's good, but it's not essential. So let's do that. And then, because this quest has the sailing trait, I have to make a sailing check. And it works this way. I first move the compass off course, 1 to the right from the sun, which is now clouds. And then I have to choose to commit characters to the sailing check. This is similar to other mechanics that we've seen, such as an escape check with Gollum back in the first cycle, or something like that. So I'll commit Dream Chaser to it because it counts as 2 characters when committed to a sailing test. And I usually like to commit at least 1 more character to a sailing test. So I'll commit Anfalas Herdsman. Now I discard 3 cards off the top of the deck, encounter deck. Well, I look at them and I'll discard them later, but 1, 2, 3. And I look for this little icon, the wheel, in the corner of the card. If I see, for each wheel that I see, I can move myself back on course 1 notch. So you move 1 off course, and then you need to find at least 1 each turn. Perhaps more depending on encounter cards, but for this turn 1 is sufficient, and so we are back on course. That happens at the beginning of the questing phase. Now I'll go ahead and commit everyone to the quest. And the card is, when revealed, each player reveals the top card of the Corsair deck and puts it into play engaged with him. Well, that is absolutely terrible. Do not want to see that card under any circumstances. And here it is. And it is, while it is engaged with you, each ship enemy engaged with you contributes its threat. Well, that's not so bad. That's probably one of the mildest ones to get. So we got 6 threat against. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 7 progress. Well, actually plus 2 when you're on course, so it's 9 progress. And we're into phase 2. When the stage is defeated, if you are on course, which I am, look at the top 2 stages of the quest deck and advance to one of your choice. So as part of the setup, I need to shuffle all of these stage 2s, which I'll do. And then stage 3 goes on the bottom. So I can look at the top 2 stages of the quest deck, which are Cursed Mists and Calphone's Divination. And I'm going to choose Cursed Mists because I don't want to put a ship in the staging area. They're generally pretty high threat. So I'm choosing Cursed Mists. And the other one goes to the bottom of the quest deck. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for 1 copy of Fog Bank. There it is. And then this quest stage requires 6 progress, and while you're off course, each non-ship ally gets -2 willpower. So I will go ahead and move to Fogbank. While it's the active location, ship enemies do not make engagement checks, cannot attack, and cannot be attacked. That's no problem. I don't want to attack them anyway. Then I have a attack from the Southron Sailor to resolve, and it's going to be undefended for 2, so no problem. And we will be on to the next round. Well, I discard every card left in my hand at the end of last round. And then I draw 3 for Erestor and 1 for Círdan. And I have to discard 1, and I think I will discard... What do I want to discard? Men of the West, I don't think I'm going to get use out of. Narya, I don't get a lot of use out of until I get Light of Valinor. Let me think about what I want to do here. What is in my... I don't have a lot of resources, so not a lot of options. Is there any way I could play that Ethir Swordsman? If I play Envoy of Pelargir, move a resource, I could pay for it with 1, 2, put 1 there, then use Gaining Strength. Or 1, 2, 1 there, Gaining Strength. No, that doesn't really work. Okay, so let's do it this way. I'm going to play Envoy of Pelargir for 1, 2, and then it gives a resource to a Gondor or Noble's Hero's Pool. Well, actually, Hirluin is not Gondor right now because he is... I don't have Steward of Gondor on him yet, so I would put 1 resource. Alright, let's pay for Envoy of Pelargir this way. 1, 2, 1. Gaining Strength, puts 1 more there. But I can't Men of the West to get back the other Swordsman, not this turn anyway. We can play Narya. Doesn't really help me that much. Does give him a leadership icon for the future. Alright. I don't know if that's the best possible play there. Maybe Forlong is better than Narya. Narya can be used to ready allies, not ships. They are objectives, not allies. Let's do the sailing test with Dream Chaser and Anfalas Herdsman. We move off course by 1. And so 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Did get 1 wheel, so we're back on course. Now, what do I want to do with this guy? I want a quest with Círdan, Hirluin, Narya. Oh, I forgot. Wait, let's back it up. I forgot about Narya's cost reduction. Does that change anything? So I start with 3 resources. Envoy of Pelargir can be played for 1. And then add a resource to Hirluin. And instead of playing Narya then, I can then Gaining Strength for +1. I can Men of the West for 1. And play and grab the Ethir Swordsman. Then play that for 2. That's a better play than Narya, I think. And everything else stays the same. So, who do I want to quest with? How do I want to handle Sauron Sailor? Probably just quest with everyone and ignore him. I'll have Erestor defend it. So the card is another Rolling Seas, so it's 4, 8, 9, 10 to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17 to 10, 7 progress, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not going to move to Rolling Seas. It moves you off course. Just going to leave it. Got an attack from the sailor to resolve, and it is, if your heading is at the worst setting, which it is not, we are on course, so it does nothing. And we're on to the next turn. I'll get those Naryas back with a Will of the West later. Draw 3 with Erestor, 1 with Círdan, and then I have to discard 1. It's actually a tough choice which one to discard. I guess the Anfalas Herdsman. So I'll go ahead and gaining strength, +1 resource. I'll go ahead and Warrior of Lossarnach. And I'll be Will of the Westing later. For now, let's move off course by 1. Sailing check. Commit 3 characters to it. Maybe 4 now, just for safety. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do move back on course. And I can quest for a bunch. And I'm going to go ahead and play Elrond's Counsel for +1. And drop threat. And the card is Rough Waters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 2. Oh, I didn't want to quest with Erestor. I need him to defend. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. To 12 is 8 progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, do pass this stage, and once again look at the top 2 stages of the quest deck and advance to one of your choice, placing the other one on the bottom of the deck. The top 2's in the Star's Guidance and Into the Storm, and I'll choose the Star's Guidance, place Into the Storm on the bottom. It's a choice between a Whirlpool or a Starlit Sea, and I prefer Starlit Sea. Where is it? Oh, there's the Starlit Sea. Okay. And that one just says, while you are off course, it gains, raise each player's threat by 3 to travel. But I'm going to travel to Rough Waters first because it cancels the first wheel symbol found during each sailing test, and that's terrible. So I'll move to Rough Waters, and the other side just needs 4 progress, and while you're off course, each location gets +1 threat. So, during one of the action windows, sometime after questing, it doesn't really matter when, I'll go ahead and play Will of the West to shuffle the discard pile back into the deck. And this card has actually been errated to say place out of play afterwards, so it doesn't go to the discard pile. Otherwise, you could cycle through Will of the Wests endlessly. So that goes to the discard pile, or to the to out of play. And we have an attack to resolve, which is, that's a blank, so no damage. Oh wait, yeah, no damage. And we're on to the next round. Draw 3 for Erestor, 1 for Círdan, and the card I will discard is what? think I forgot cost reduction from Narya last turn. But oh well. I'll discard an Errand-rider, I think. Yeah? Yeah. So let's get out a Hunter of Lamedon. And I can discard the top card, and it is not Outland, so it stays discarded. Well, it's actually that you reveal the top card, and then if it's Outlands, add it to your hand. If not, discard it. I can play Errand-rider. Do I want to, or would I rather save the resource? I can play Narya for 1/2. I think that's all. I think I want to save a resource in case I draw the gaining power card. So let's do the sailing check. Move off course by 1. Dream Chaser, Anfalas, Herdsman, and Envoy of Pelargir will do the sailing check. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Easily back on course. And now I'm going to quest with everybody except Erestor. And the card is, when revealed, if you're off course, deal 1 damage to each character in play. If your heading is at the worst setting, this effect cannot be cancelled while I am not off course. So no problem. 3, 7, 8, 9, 4, 8, 10, 13. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I wanted to commit him as well. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. To 13 is 9 progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, once again, we're looking at the top 2, and I'm going to choose to move to stage 3. Corsair's Pursuit. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for the ship enemy with the highest threat and add it to the staging area. And I believe that ship is the light cruiser, which is 4 threat. There's nothing higher than 4 threat, right? Got 3 threat from the Corsair warship. Light cruiser's 4 threat. Yep. Okay. So that's added to staging, and now on this side, we cannot place progress on Corsair Pursuit unless you're on course. If there are no ship enemies in play, you've defeated your pursuers and win the game. If the stage has 10 or more progress on it, you've lost your pursuers and win the game. The location is cleared, and I'm going to go ahead and move to Starlit Sea, which has no travel cost when you're on course. And then I have an attack from the Southern Sailor to resolve, which is a blank, so no damage. Now I discard at the end. We're on to next turn, draw 3, and then 1 for Círdan, and I have to discard 1. And I will discard... I'd love to be able to play Faramir. I can do it with Good Harvest, so I'll just discard Light of Valinor, I guess. It's a good card, but I want this to be the last turn, and Faramir makes that happen, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to play Good Harvest, name Leadership, and play Faramir. Now, we will move off course for the sailing check, and I'll commit 4 again, and the cards are 1, 2, 3, 4, so we're back on course. And I'll commit everyone to the quest and exhaust Faramir. Should I commit Erestor as well? Let's see, will I need it? Let's count for a sec. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, to 4, 8, 9, 10, 14. So it's 15 progress. 12. I'm only 3 over. So what comes could ruin the day. Unless I commit Erestor as well. And I'll also play Elrond's Counsel. So the card is Starlit Sea. So it's counted up again. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, to 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 16 progress. 2 and then 14 more. And that will win the game. So Faramir was essential. Would not have won this turn if it wasn't for Faramir. But I still think I would have won. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Faramir added 8, so I would have been 4 under. I still would have cleared the location though. And then moved to another Starlit Sea. And so the keys to this quest with this deck. I don't think you want to clear the Rolling Seas. In my playtesting, I found if I move to Rolling Sea early and get off course early and don't get back, that can create a lot of problems for you because you need to either commit more characters to the sailing test to get back on course, or you have to accept that these like nasty effects that come from being off course, both from encounter cards and shadow cards should you get in combat. Then I got lucky with this boarding card because I could have gotten an enemy very easily, which was much harder to deal with. Like, there's 2 of those guys in a deck of, 9? And I think every single other card in the deck would have been much harder to deal with. Could not have been dealt with just one hero, Erestor, every turn. Because the attacks would have overwhelmed him pretty quickly, or, forced me to discard attachments or whatever. I guess I didn't really have any. But I got lucky with that. I got unlucky to get the card in the first place, the boarding card, but I got lucky with the guy that I got. But other than that, you just cycle through, with this deck, you just cycle through the deck, play Elrond's Counsel whenever it comes up. Get Steward of Gondor out if you can. Otherwise, just play the cards and quest, and you win. It helps to know which of the stage 2s you want to go to. But other than that, just ignore the Rolling Seas. That's the key to this quest, I've found, if you're going the questing route. Because it'll get you off course early, and that can make this quest a lot harder. So, thanks for watching.